Hello, my name is Mark Isham. I wanted to give an overview of the GraphReel project. GraphReel is an open source project that I created. Basically, I wanted to learn more about LangGraph, and I wanted to dive in deep into agentic pipelines. Additionally, I wanted to solve a real problem that I had. I was doing a lot of research on various topics, putting notes into Google Drive and pulling in web links, and I wanted a way to consume that information on the go. For example, working out at the gym or driving the car or whatnot, in a kind of an easy, digestible format. So I thought LangGraph would be a great opportunity to create an agentic workflow where I could actually summarize various documentation and web links, and then create an explainer video out of that. So create images, create a talk track, create scenes, and create a video that I could then consume on the go if I wanted to review that content in a more easily digestible format. So GraphReel is a project that I created to accomplish that. I also wanted to learn more about Claude Code. I've been using GitHub Copilot quite a bit in the past, but Claude Code has kind of come on the scene of all the rage, and I wanted to see how that compared to GitHub Copilot. So I did this project entirely through Claude Code as well, which is kind of cool. So let's go ahead and get started. If you go into the README file, it will give you a lot of instructions on how to set this up. I'll talk about this more after I get this going, but let's go ahead and launch it so we can start a video generation right now. So I already have a launch configuration built in here. Oops, let's start it again. Okay, it's using Streamlit on Python to render the web UI. It's a very basic UI. I didn't need a lot of overhead for that. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to connect to your Google Drive. This will do an OAuth 2 flow. It's not registered in the App Store. This is just for your own personal use, so there's no danger. You're only running it yourself. Okay, auth flow is done. And then you go into this very simple interface, and you can give instructions to tailor the video generated if you want, or just use the default. Let's say I want to go to a trip to Georgia. So show me a 3-day itinerary for visiting Georgia, emphasizing Fernbank Museum. Okay. Now, if you go into my Google Drive, you'll see I already have some notes that I took that I've already downloaded into this folder. So I can just take this folder, copy paste it, put that URL in here, and then I have information about the Fernbank Museum. So I'll paste that in as well. And now hit generate. Okay. So as this is going, the LangGraph graph, which I will show in a second, is now extracting all of this content. So it's using VertexAI and the GCP CLI interface to actually connect to Google Drive to pull the contents of this information and then summarize that in parallel prompts that are then orchestrated by LangGraph and then pushed into an overall summary that's fed into a video generation system. You can see it's pulling this information in right now. It will also pull in additional information off the web. So it will synthesize all of the information it pulls in to generate additional resources it might want to pull in, and it will do a Google search to get additional content, and it will synthesize that into the overall result as well. So this is going to take a little while. So while this is going, let me go back to Visual Studio here and show you just a little bit about the code. So if you look in your project here and look in the pipeline directory in the graph Python folder or file here, you will see there's actually two pipelines. There's a pipeline for actually generating the content itself, and you can see all these different nodes in the graph, which let me go back to the README. If we go down to the architecture here, you can see a visualization of this. Okay, so here's the LangGraph graph. First of all, it's just resolving the URLs. It's fetching the files, so fetching the different G Drive files, fetching the different web resources, and then it's sending this to, I'm running it on Gemini 2.5 Flash, but really any model can be piped in here. So it's summarizing with some prompts that I'll show you in a second to actually synthesize that content down to talking points that you want to put into your video. These are all done in parallel. You see the send xn here. So these 5 or so files are all being fetched in parallel. They're being synthesized in parallel, and then they're being map reduced back down to a single synthesis of what we were going to be summarizing. Extract topics is a phase here where we pull out additional information we might want to do a Google search on. We search on those in parallel again to augment the narrative here, and then we condense the narrative with the results of that, and then we actually have a final kind of talk track that we will feed to the video pipeline, which will show that in a second. Let's check back on the web and see. Yeah, and you can see actually it's already starting to generate some of those scenes, the different aspects of the video that we want to show. So it's making some progress here. If you look in the code, if we go back to the Python code, you can see all these nodes in that graph are defined out here in Python code using LangGraph. You can see there's actually, if you scroll down, there's 2 different pipelines. So actually, let me go back here to the preview. There's also a video generation video generation graph here. So once you have the generated script, then it will actually fan out again. It will generate assets that specifically, those are images to be shown in the video. They're mostly static images that are, panned slowly as the progression goes through, and the talk track as well. The voice and the images are stitched together, and then they are actually created a final video using FFmpeg, which I think it's MoviePy is the library that's doing that. Let's go back here. So go back to the code. So you can see in graph.python, you can see just the representation of all those nodes. Here's the video graph as well. If you look at the prompts folder, you can see the different prompts that are fed to the different stages, the different agents that are running throughout each step of the video generation. So for example, you can see the context here of extracting information to a larger document, and it breaks it out into sequences, part 1 of 5, part 2 of 5, part 3 of 5, and so forth, so that it can do an in-order reassembling at a later stage. Some additional information here. Yeah, I mean, you can review all these prompts at your leisure. Let's go back to the generation. Okay, so we're actually generating the video now. You can, while we're waiting, you can see the different scenes that are being generated. Let's collapse that. Let's go back to the code, and if you go into the console here, yeah, you can see it's actually generating it down here. So it takes about 5 to 10 minutes sometimes to generate this entire file. So be patient. I did put some throttling in there. I was using the free tier on VertexAI for some of these resources right now. So obviously they don't want you to abuse the system. So there's some back off retries and throttling in there that slows things down. If this was more of a production run, we would of course scale this up with paid resources that would run much quicker and have much better fidelity as well. So while we're waiting here, I'm going to pause the video until this is done, and when it's done, I'll come back and we'll see what got generated. Okay, we're almost done here, about 94%. You can see the progress bar, it's still generating here. While it's finishing up, I just wanted to highlight some of the tools and the state management in a little bit more detail as well. So as you can see here in the architecture overview markdown, it gives a complete list of all the tools. Everything here is free or near free or included in a GCP account if you are running it on that. This does not have to run on GCP. I think with relatively little challenge, it could be moved into AWS or some other system as well. I'm just a little bit more familiar with GCP, so for the interest of speed, I did it that way. But ImageN and Gemini 2.5 Flash use mostly, Google Cloud to Text as well Cloud Text to Speech for generating the speech content as well. And then FFmpeg with MoviePy running it for the processing. You can see it here of the video, which is that step. Looks like it just finished as well. Streamlit for Python web UI. I just wanted something really basic, not a full model view controller architecture or anything like that was needed there. And DuckDuckGo for doing Google searches, since that offered an API that didn't require authentication to do searches on. I want to talk about state management. One of the big benefits of LangGraph is you can actually pass state between the different stages. So here's the JSON object that's passed through the initial graph to actually generate the file content. So you can see we have we start with the original URLs and the instructions we had as input. And then after each step of the phase, you can see additional information is augmented into the state and passed on to the summarization at the end. So you have like the file summaries as an array here. So each scene is summarized by a separate LLM invocation, which is then put into the state management and passed on. The narrative builds out that way as well. Any additional research topics that we want to Google search, which is one of the nodes in the tree, to generate the research topics, and then to get the data back from the Google searches to do the research topics. That's all passed in the state management as well. So that's all passed through the entire flow. You can see that in the code as well. I won't bore you with the details of the specific code. And the video state has a similar state management as it goes through. You can see that here. Here's the state flow as well. So video is, when you go into the video pipeline, you already have a script of what you're trying to generate. So now it's more the mechanics of the generation of the text. I'm sorry, the generation of the voice from the text, as well as the images, and then stitching those all together. So let's go back. Looks like we're done. You can see a little briefing of the script that came out of this generation process. You can download that. You can see, oops, okay. You can see a little bit of additional information. Looks like that didn't work out. And then finally the video. So here's a 3-minute video. I won't play it all, but I'll play a sample of this just to kind of give you a feeling for what was generated.
Day one begins at the Fernbank Museum of Natural History in Druid Hills. It's Atlanta's premier science and nature experience. Fernbank boasts massive dinosaur skeletons, ancient fossils, and new scientific discoveries.
Okay, so you get the feeling here. You can download this, obviously. If you want to put it up to YouTube, I made it relatively easy. I have a direct link into YouTube here with copy-paste text that you can put the file in. You just download the MP4 file and then upload it straight to YouTube from there. And here's some more information on the script that was generated as well. So that's basically it. This is mostly just an exercise for myself to learn more. I know there are other tools that do this already, so I'm not trying to create anything commercial here. I just wanted to learn, some multimodal LLMs. I wanted to learn LangGraph. I wanted to get into some of the details of state management, passing in between, and just have some fun. I like creating new things. So that's GraphReel. It's an open source project. I'm going to put it out there, I welcome people to contribute to it, but mostly it's just here for educational purposes. All right, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.